Hari Hari Ramo Hari Ramo 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 Hari 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 Krishna 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 Hari 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 Ramo 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 Hari 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 Krishna 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 Hari 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 Ramo 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 Hari 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 Krishna 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 Hari 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 Ramo 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 Hari Hari Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radhe Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Srimad Bhagavatam Srimad Bhagavatam Swami Prabhupada ki jai Jagat Guru Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Srismad Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai Gaur Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj ki jai Saridhanta Bhakti Thakur Maharaj ki jai Shri Radha Madhav Bhagavan ki jai Gaunitai ki jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai Namacharya All glories to Supreme, all glories to all glories to Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritam Naran Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayo Mudirayit Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nitam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloki Bhaktir Bhavati Naisthiki Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 6, Text number 17. Purusha Sukta confirm. Sva-dhiṣṇyaṁ pratapan prāṇo Sva-dhiṣṇyaṁ pratapan prāṇo bahiś pratapatyasu bahiś pratapatyasu evam virājam pratapaṁs evam virājam pratapaṁs tapaya antar pumān tapaya antar pumān sva-dhiṣṇyaṁ pratapan prāṇo bahiṣ prapatyaṣu evam virājo pratapaṁs evam virājam pratapaṁs tapaty antar pumān. Sva-dhiṣṇyaṁ pratapan prāṇo bahiṣ pratapatyāso virājam pratapaṁs tapati antar pumān. Evam virājam pratapaṁs antar pumān. Sva-dhiṣṇyaṁ pratapan prāṇo pratapatyāśu evam. Mataji, sva-dhiṣṇyaṁ pratapan prāṇo pratapatyāśu evam antar. I'll go for translation. Translation. The sun illuminates both internally and externally by expanding its radiation. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by expanding his universal form, maintains everything in the creation both eternally, externally. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The universal form of the Lord, or the impersonal feature of the Lord, known as the Brahma-jyoti, is clearly explained here and compared to the radiation of the sun. The sunshine may expand all over the universe, but the source of the sunshine, namely the sun, planet, or the deity known as Sūrya-nārāyaṇa, is the basic of such radiation. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, is the basis of the impersonal Brahma-jyoti radiation, or the impersonal feature of the Lord. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad-gītā 14:27. So the universal form of the Lord is the secondary imagination of the impersonal form of the Lord. But the primary form of the Lord is Shyam Sundar, with two hands playing his flute, eternal flute. 75% of the expansive radiation of the Lord is manifested in the spiritual sky, tripād-vibhūti, and 25% of his personal radiation comprehends the entire expansion of the material universe. This is also explained and stated in the Bhagavad-gītā 10:42. Thus, the 75% expansion of his radiation is called his eternal energy, whereas the 25% expansion is called the external energy of the Lord. The living entities who are residents of the spiritual as well as the material expansion are his marginal energy, taṭasthā-śakti, and they are at liberty to live in either of the energy, external or internal. Those who live within the spiritual expansion of the Lord are called liberated souls, whereas the residents of the external expansion are called the conditioned soul. We can just make an estimate of the number of the residents of the internal expansion in comparison with the number of residents in the external energy, and may easily conclude that the liberated souls are far numerous than the conditioned souls. Ajanulambitavajau kanakavadato sankirtanaikapitaro kamalayataksho vishambharo dijavaro yugadharmapalo bandi jagat priyakaro karunavataro naham vipro nachanarapati napi basho nasudro naham varni nachagitapatino vanastho jatirva kintu pradya nikhila paramananda purnamritadi Ghapi Vartapada Kalamayo Dasa Dasanu Dasa. I messed up exalted personality here, and I am afraid to speak something. Beloved, very dear disciple of Srila Prabhupada, His Grace Rameshwar Prabhu is there. I am little nervous to speak something, and I brought up in ISKCON from very young age. From the beginning, 70s, I am in touch. I know their glories. Minute to minute, he may not know me, but I know. Somehow I had association of usual this Tamakrishna Maharaj, many other senior leaders. And when he was there in the beginning of 80s in Los Angeles, I visited there. So, with my all humility, I just want to speak something which can inspire me, inspire all of us. Basically, human brain having a lot of space, and scientists says that only 5 to 6% of the brain we use, and that means 94% brain we are not using. That means lot of substance can be there in the brain. That is why we see sometimes somebody is doing lot of service, knowing lot of scripture, still so fully engaged, still somewhere little Maya comes up. The Maya comes to that person very smooth way, very simple way. So we see in Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Maharaj, from beginning, he's putting so many things in our mind, especially this chapter, that Lord is there in the heart, Lord is there, cause of all causes. And here is Purusha Sukta, where as for the devotees of the Krishna, Vaishnavas, sometimes we forget and we concentrate on the Lord Sham Sundar, which Srila Prabhupada says, it's a beautiful form. At the same time, I think it is certainly required for everybody to understand his greatness. If we don't understand the greatness, obviously we will lose the taste of the Lord. We all are attracted to the Lord's, what you call power. Anybody, we are attracted to somebody who is having power, position, so many other things. Here is Sukadeva Maharaj, and not only one places, and Srimad Bhagavatam, many places, all the time describing Lord's power. And whereas Lord is there as a Mahavishnu lying down, from there the Virat Rupam is coming, and this from Virat Rupam, that universal form, there's Sarvatopanim, Sarvasakshi Siddhamukham, that he's thousands of legs, thousands of mouths, thousands of heads. We don't know how much. So it's like beyond our understanding. Even though as a Vaishnava we remember Krishna, but we should also understand the greatness, the kind of Lord's energy. And Srila Prabhupada also mentioned this, that this particular sloka from 9th chapter, that whole universe in resting. Maya tadabhidam sarvam jagat avtaktavinda murtina. That whole universe is resting on me. And then here Sukadeva Maharaj explained that some planets are present towards his head sides, in the middle some planets, in the legs. So that means the whole world is with him only. And if we calculate that particular sloka, that Maya tadabhidam sarvam, that means the whole thing in him only. Yet he says, Matsani sarvabhutani nachad. He's separate from that. So that is achinta bhadavet tattvam. So now, coming to the point that his radiation is there. His radiation is everywhere. He says internally, externally. That means universal form is expand everywhere. And some Purana says that even the sun, Sūrya-nārāyaṇa, sun, is expansion of among Lord Vishnu. Some Puranas giving support that sometimes some of the demigods are not there. Then Lord Vishnu expand his energy to fill up that vacancy. So such a power, and this power also attracts the devotees. And without that power, we lose the taste in everything. So we have to see in right perspective. If we don't see in right perspective, it's very easy to become a devotee, but it's difficult to maintain a devotional life. Every moment we have to understand Lord's greatness. And a true devotee means he sees only Lord, his energy, his service, and himself. But we are devotee, along with this we see something else also. So in order to overcome the whole thing, whole illusory energy, Krishna is giving very strong message in 9th chapter. Moghasha, Moghkarmi, Moghajnana, Rakshasi, Masurim, Prakriti, Mahinisita. There are certain people who are in material, Srila Prabhupada says some are materialistic world, some are spiritual, but anyway, all are marginal potency, but they have a right to go wherever they want to go, the living entity. Now, Krishna is giving, bifurcating in Gita, two portions. One is that those who are Rakshasi, Masurim, Chaiva, Prakriti, Mahinisita, they are also in the same Prakriti. Then again, Krishna says, Mahatmana Subhat Prartha, Daivi Prakriti Masrita. Those who are Mahatma, saintly person, that is my spiritual nature. So, in order to be in the spiritual nature, like Srila Prabhupada mentioned, those who are liberated soul. But Srila Prabhupada also mentioned, I have heard from this lecture from His Grace Rameshwar Prabhu only, that Srila Prabhupada mentioned that there are some liberated soul, eternally liberated soul, that that's what Srila Prabhupada, so they are born liberated, they are born devotee, they are born like that. But some get what you call blessed by saintly person. And then, and because of devotees association, someone Nitya Siddha, Sadhana Siddha, by Vaishnava association, by hearing this type of topics, Bhagavatam, then we get attachment. And this attachment will continue till we understand his greatness. So we have to understand that it's not just what you call description. We have to, every moment we have to understand his Lord's greatness, devote his greatness. Who is he? Right? Otherwise, Lord has spoken very beautifully, Gita, why he had to show the form. Srila Prabhupada continuously is mentioned everywhere that actually Arjuna doesn't need the form, need to see. He was convinced, he was a great devotee. When somebody is staying with the Lord, why he need to see? But because of us, we ordinary people will misunderstand. So he showed, he told in 10th chapter, he showed in the 11th chapter. Who is he? So we should understand, as a fallen jivas, we understand that actually if we underestimate his energy, we'll go towards this other moghasa mahakarmani. So this type of attitude we have to remember, that how otherwise what will happen? Why a devotee goes towards the materialistic after knowing everything? Because he doesn't value the power of the spiritual Lord, the power of his greatness. In India, there's mostly they are devotee of, traditionally they are devotee of Vishnu, because they understand power of, in South India mostly they worship Vishnu, because they understand the greatness of the Lord. One person, he was standing next to a spec shop. So he saw one person, he went to check up his eyes. So that specs shop, he checked. He said, okay, you sit. What is your problem? No, sir, I cannot see. Okay, you sit here. So he put a glass, one glass, another glass. You can see? No, I can see little bit, little blur. Put another glass. So now little clear. So it's not so clear? No. So put one more glass. Okay, now it's clear. Then he went, another person came. He also sat there. Sir, I need glass. So can you test? So he put glass. Put glass. After 3-4 glasses, it's clear. Now you can see. I can read it. So this person, he thought, he also went inside. Said, can you test my eyes? Put glass. Can you see? No. Can you see? No. Can you see? 4th, 5th, 6th? No, I cannot see. Said, have you gone to the school? You have studied? No. Said, how you will see? How you can read it? Only you can read, I can give the glass, but provided you have gone to the school, you know the alphabets, how you can see, how you can read it. So similarly, we have to have something in the heart, some spiritual idea, and then maybe some specs can help. So if we have a faith on Guru, Krishna, devotees, then if Guru nurture, something will come up. Otherwise, no way it is possible to get the blessings. So what I mean to say, that some efforts we have to make. Some efforts, the environment, spiritual, like we are in the Dham of spirituality. Everything we can get, provided we make some efforts. But if we say, no, I will not make efforts, everything should happen on its own, then it will not happen. Unless we are engaged, wherever we are, we will not get the yield. So some efforts from our side, like early morning we come, and we, stand in front of the deities, pray together, then we get some spiritual energy, vibration. And we feel ourselves. In the beginning, when we get up from the bed, it's difficult, few minutes. Once we take bath and all, we come, then we feel, when you come to Mangalarti, then you feel very good. So initial efforts are needed. Later on, it's not that difficult. Especially if you stand now, there's so much crowd. If you stand in the front, you don't need to, the crowd is so high, it'll push and put you next to the deities. So some efforts are necessary in order to, what you call, come to this line. And this thing, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked to Ramananda Rai, that tell me what we should do in human form of life. So he told us beautiful verse that you have to purchase this Krishna Bhakti. Purchase it. How to? Krishna Bhakti rasa bhavita mati kriyatam jati kuto vilabhati tattha lolamapi mullamekam koti jarma sukritin labhati. That somehow or other purchase this bhakti, and this bhakti cannot be purchased even if you have hundreds and crores of life. And if we can purchase, somehow or other purchase it. What Bhaktivinoda Thakur told, Namer heart, it's a marketplace of holy name, where a devotee want to sell the. When I was in Delhi, I was too young. Surabhi Prabhu, I was working under Surabhi Prabhu. He said, when you want to become a president or all, then you should know management. So he sent me to one, what do you call, crash course, part of MBA crash course in Pusha Road, Sachdeva Institute. And it was for 6 months. So first day I went, but I went in saffron clothes. I told I'll not change the clothes. So he asked me some others, what you do? He said, I told him I do membership and we preach about Krishna Bhakti, Gita. We want people should become devotee. He said, yes, this is the point. That you are selling holy name of Krishna. You are selling Krishna's name. So our duty to sell as a devotee, but we have to, as a devotee, we also have to purchase the bhakti. If we have bhakti, we can give the bhakti. We have to purchase it. And Ramananda Rai is very forcefully telling that only if we can purchase this bhakti, then we can get love of Krishna. Rai kahe ev sadhya karo, Rai Prabhu kahe hoy age kahar, Rai kahe prem bhakti chal. So if we can purchase Krishna through bhakti, then we can have love. So same Lord is such a huge, it's difficult to imagine his potency as a virājaṁ, his call of all causes, is everything. And we see in every personality, devotee, like Kunti Mata, others, everybody is praying that Lord of greatness, all those things. He is everywhere, he is in every atom, yet he is different. Kunti Devi said, you are the son of Nadna Josoda. But usually we take it's very complex and we take it a simple way. Oh, what is there? That is why even though Lord Ram appeared and he was behaving normal person, but the people don't take seriously. When he was requesting, he was trying to build a bridge to go to Lanka. He was requesting ocean god to give the way. And ocean god said, who is he? He may be Ram, we don't know. But Lakshman told that, my dear Ram, we are Kshatriya and we are not supposed to pray, we are supposed to fight it out. And then Lord said, what to do? That you tell me, in one arrow I'll dry this ocean, whole ocean altogether. But as soon as Lord Ram, he said, you don't know, I'll just take care. As soon as Lord Ram saw little anger, Rukuti ke bhai se, that means he saw little like this, eyebrows. Immediately ocean god came out and he gave the way. He told actually, the road is there, but I'll help you. But you have a two-person, Nal and Nil. If they put stone, it will float. They have a, what you call, blessings. So nothing to worry. And he immediately came out and he paid obeisance to the Lord. So that means somewhere the strength is also required. We see Lord Krishna, sometime, like I gave you example, South India or many people, they think, why Lord Krishna? Lord Krishna having only two hands. India doesn't do anything. But Vishnu having so many weapons, this and that. Why we should worship Vishnu? And so same Lord Krishna, when Shishupal or with others, what he did, immediately called Sudarshan-chakra and killed. Same Lord Krishna, even though he was small, he killed so many. But if he doesn't show this power, that means people will not take seriously. In Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he showed many forms, any play, his form, as I do, as research goes, this Sadabhuj form, Krishna, Ram, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at a time, he showed to many persons, not one. And when Jagai Madhai was giving trouble, he wanted to call Sudarshan Chakra. So power is there. And Srimad Bhagavatam explained all this, even the Brahma is telling, even me, and he's telling Lord Shiva, you and Narad, all are his expansion, all are his manifestation. Whatever. We see Vishnu, we see also other form, but then again, Brahma says everything coming from very sweet form, Yam Sama Sundaram Achinta Guru Santa Sadaiva Hidaya Subilakanja. The 70% he sees Sham Sundar form all the time in his heart. And that form, which is very sweet, somebody may not take seriously. But the devotees, because they know that his what you call greatness, his power, Osajasya Samagrasya, it's all these six opulence. They don't go all those things. After knowing all this greatness, they stick to it. But having said that, we have to understand the time we forget his greatness, we lose the taste. That means it's in the higher stage that somebody stick to the form of the Lord, sweet Lord Krishna, Radharani. But any devotee, let's say, after serving for a long time, living the bhakti life, that means he somewhere underestimate the potency and energy of the Lord. So that means we have to have what you call spiritual potency, spiritual understanding all the time, every moment. If any person who is living as a devotee living, that is very dangerous, because material energy is such a dangerous. When Krishna is accusing Mohagāsha Mohakarmini Mohoja Grana Bitechasa Rakshasi Asurin Chaiva Prakriti Mahipras, those who are under material energy, they are like Rakshas. Krishna is telling, not me. And again he is telling Mahatmana Supartha Daivi Prakriti Masrita, those who are Mahatma. So this is very essential to know, it's very must to know the energy of the Lord, cause of all causes. He is everything, he is there, he is whole thing, whatever we see, it's he. It's nothing apart from it. Like for example, Srila Prabhupada told in one Sinan DC, this is just one part of the remote part of the one corner of the world. And then when he came to Mayapur, he told to the devotees, this is the middle of this world, the center of this world. Then Tamal Krishna says, Srila Prabhupada, Washington DC is so big, you said that is one corner of this world. And when Mayapur I see that nobody is there, hardly few person comes. And this is the center of this world. He said that is a spiritual vision. You don't see. A spiritual person see this is the way. But now we see that all over the world devotees are coming. It is true. I believe it was in 72, first time when I came to Mayapur with my grandmother. My grandmother was not knowing how to read and write. So he brought me, she brought me as an assistant. So I saw Srila Prabhupada there in the Bhajan Kuti. There was nothing, just one tent, hardly 50, 60 devotees. But it was beyond anybody's understanding. As a small boy, difficult for me to understand. Those days, preaching was not that much. Then Mayapur can be once like this. Even when Srila Prabhupada left this planet, there was also doubt in many devotees' mind that what will happen, what Srila Prabhupada said, is it practical? It's going to happen. But what Bhaktivinoda Thakur assumed, what Bhakti said, what Srila Prabhupada said, that's happening. Of course, by their blessings, disciple and grand disciple, they are working hard, they're making things successful. So it's obviously that those who are such a great personality, they can envision. And once I had a discussion with Pradhin Prabhu, our translator. He said, Srila Prabhupada had so many books with him. And he all the time thinking all these great acharyas, Ramananda Swami, Madhavacharya, King Kulashekar, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, all these Goswamis, Jiva Goswami Pad, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, Chandidas, Vidyapati, Lochan Das Thakur, all these great acharyas. What commentary they gave, King Kulashekar. And he was trying to put a best commentary. All the day and night he was meditating to give the best. So this Bhagavatam is like there's so many Bhagavatam. But this Bhagavatam, it's mentioned, other day we were discussing, that there's one sloka also, that in Kali Yuga, the one person will come, even though translation may not be up, but that will be the best, and it will preach. There may be some grammatical mistake, but it will preach. That will be the best. And Srila Prabhupada, if you read every word, it's full of bhakti, full of direction. And we see unknown people who are reading this Bhagavatam, those who are not from this culture, those who are from this place, maybe he may be from America, from Russia, from China, from anybody, just by reading. What is it? It's a purity of the devotees. Sukadeva Maharaj he spoke very sweetly, but Srila Prabhupada made it much more sweeter. And the normal sugar is very sweet, but Srila Prabhupada made it like a rasmalayam. Actual, of course it says rasmalayam, Srimad Bhagavatam, but it's very tasty, very softy rasmalayam. And it goes such a way. Actually, rasmalayam, if you put in the tongue, good rasmalayam, it will melt, it will go inside automatically. So Srila Prabhupada made such a way that if you read it, you don't know, in no time you become a devotee. You don't know what will happen, but it's happening all over the world. It's going to happen. So this is the best Bhagavatam we can ever, and if we keep it, if we worship, if we just read, and now Holy ISKCON is encouraging to take a Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Vedanta course. Get all these details. Now, we should not, as a devotee, when we worship, like others, they may underestimate. We should not underestimate. It is there, usually Krishna is telling to Radharani that what exactly, how things are happening. In the Gopavala, they are asking that since you are the Lord, how you manage this universe? He said, just by this flute. And 2 days back, I visited the place of Halishar, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Guru Ishwarpuri's birthplace. Ishwarpuri, Halishar is on the way to Calcutta, a little inside. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after taking sannyasi, when he was going to Puri, when he saw that place, he paid obeisances and he took soil in his outer garments. Lot of soil, he tied it and he kept it. Some, they say, he used to eat every day little bit. I said, this is going to give me Krishna Prem. And because he took, everybody took. So that becomes like, because he had thousands of devotees who were following him. So that becomes like a small pond. And that place name is Chaitanya Dova. So he had such a reverence for that place. And very near to that place is Shivananda Sen house. And his son Puridas, who went very young age, very small, when he was small, he went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw Puridas, and Puridas sucked the one finger of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's leg, and everybody saw he's drinking milk. Milk is coming out. Same Puridas, he wrote all these details. Some research says that he also wrote that how the Lord Krishna's flute is controlling the whole universe. So whenever Krishna is playing in different holes and it's different noise, whole universe is controlled through the flute only. So whereas we see Lord Vishnu is everywhere, in one sense that we are inside the Lord only. So that potency has to be covered, and His blessings, by His blessings, by His causeless mercy, it is there. Srila Prabhupada used to always stress the blessings. Blessings are devotee, blessings Govardhana, blessings of Krishna, blessings are required. Yudhishthira Maharaj, when he went for war, he asked blessings of Bhishma Pitamaha, though he was an opponent. Yudhishthira asked blessings of everybody, he begged pardon. So blessings required. One time, one devotee, Srila Prabhupada disciple, he may not know Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj. He was a Punjabi. He was what you call a driver. But he drove Srila Prabhupada from the airport to the Vrindavan. Srila Prabhupada preached to him, he became a devotee. And not only he was a very big preacher, and Prabhupada made him GBC also for some time. Then Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj left in Bombay. He was staying with one sadhu who was knowing magic. And Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj went to learn that magic. He can put the coin this side and it can take out in this side. He put the coin this side and take out this side. So he became expert. And all the devotees, they complained to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Bhakti Chaitanya is a gone case. He went to some magician, he's learning some magic. Srila Prabhupada said, you don't know the mercy of Bhagavad-gītā. And for your knowledge, for your understanding, information, after a few days, Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj came back and he begged pardon to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, I did mistake. So, how we beg, how we understand, how we ask for the Lord's mercy, only when we know the Lord is everything. The Lord is telling very nicely, mat chitta sarva durgani mat prasad tarishati. And you just give it your mind to me. What will happen? Sarva durgani. Durgani means, Durga means fort. The problem of this world like a fort. mat prasadat tarasati. By my blessings, he can overcome. We all face so many problems. No. We are facing less problem, but our His Grace Rameshwar Prabhu facing Srila Prabhupada and doing so much. It's not that easy, but he made a challenge, and it was, and history will remain. What he did at that time, I think whole universe will know. His name will be written in golden letters. It's already written, and everybody glorifying His Grace Rameshwar Prabhu. What he did, only he could. Others they said impossible, but he did it and he showed. That is called Guru Bhakti. It's called, and as far as Brahma Jyoti, I'll tell you, when Prabhupada was there in Rameshwar Prabhu was his Prabhupada's secretary at the time in Prayag, and few devotees, they went to some Swamiji and they were talking about, we are Vaishnava, we speak about Krishna. They were speaking Brahma Jyoti, they are like that only. They are Brahmin, and they are, yes. So they wanted to attract one or two of our devotees who went to listen to them and telling, look, Lord is like this, Lord is like that, Brahma Jyoti is like that, that's why you are in Brahma Jyoti. So the devotee, his devotee, they are very clever. They said, look, you told so much about Lord Brahma Jyoti, he has so much power, why you are not attracted to this power? Then the devotee says, is there Rasgulla in Brahma Jyoti? He said, no Rasgulla. He said, then I am not interested in Brahma Jyoti. So Srila Prabhupada, along with Krishna, he gave Rasgulla, Gulab Jamun, don't tell me what not. And he said, there is no Rasgulla in Brahma Jyoti. So I take your kind permission, and hear any question, any comment, anything you want to say.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhu, most of the scriptures affirms that Surya and Chandra are both eyes of the Lord.
Yes.
But in at one context in Bhagavatam, the demigods like Surya, Chandra represented kings of the different planets. In so many areas, there is a separate temple for Sūrya-nārāyaṇa Swami. So how we can understand in a reality, in a right perspective regarding Surya and Chandra?
So your question is that Lord is telling that sun and moon is my eyes, and he says here is a. Then what else you are saying? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Are representative kings of different planets.
So for devotee, for the Lord, sun and moon is very dear. And we, according to worldly perception, we see sun and moon. So, so it is explained in different way. Everything is true. Whatever Lord says, whatever Scripture says, that is true. So one way, because we can't understand the energy of the Lord, His greatness, so we understand sun and moon. Sun and moon representing certainly, like even affectionately, one father says to his two sons, "Oh, for me, these two sons are like my eyes." And certainly, Lord, there's a different Bhagavatam slokas are there where Sukadeva Maharaj praising all the demigods. Srila Prabhupada saying that we should not offend anybody. We should take their blessings. So sun and moon, certainly they are also demigod, but they are very near and dear. I did explain in my class that some scripture says, some Purana says that sometime if the sun is not there, the particular demigod is absent, Lord expand himself to occupy occupy that vacant place. And you also know, you being a South Indian, you know that there is not one sun, there are 12 Adityas. So Krishna also says, among Adityas I am Vishnu. So it's how you look it. One way demigods are there, but demigods are also very near to the Lord. Actually, everybody is near to the Lord. Even devotees are very near and dear to the Lord. Lord likes devotee, devotee likes Lord. So we should be very careful with the devotees, with everybody. They have sun having power. We don't have that much power. But at the same time, somebody having devotion, he is having power. Like Dhruv, such a powerful person. When all these demigods, they are praising. Bhagavatam says, demigod, they take pleasure. Srila Prabhupada is explaining that demigod, they take pleasure of discussing about Dhruv and Prahlad. So demigods are very near to the Lord, and because they are very intimately connected, and they represent a lot of affectionately told. And actually, one way, if you see, it's a Lord's energy which works. In Taititiya Puran, Taititiya Upanishad, it says, Visasmat bhatapavati visodeti Surya-nārāyaṇa. That by the fear of the Lord, all these demigods, they work. And if we have fear, we'll become devotee. If we have no fear, the day, because the body is full of, it's a mix of sattvic, rajasic, tamasic, the day we have passion and ignorance, we may forget. Only sattva guna brings to the devotion, not just the devotion. So passion is there. So passion is there. With the demigod, they works. Then they are very devoted. You just see such a nice, very timely they are coming, timely they are going. Not even 1 second this way, that way. When we are such a devotee, we don't maintain the timing. See how sun god maintain time. They are very dear to the Lord. Because they are dear, Lord is telling that there. And Lord can say anything. As a Supreme Father, He can say anything.
I first want to thank you for the class, except for any comments you made about this lowly servant. That was uncalled for. Hare Krishna. So, I see in this text and this part of the Srimad Bhagavatam that, well, first I just want to say that for any devotee who finally or has already received second initiation, diksha, Brahminical initiation, there's a number of Gayatri mantras that we meditate on every day, 3 times a day. The very first of those Gayatri mantras is directing all of us to deeply meditate on the sun as the representative of Lord Narayan. So this is a very pertinent verse to our whole Krishna consciousness process.
True.
We are directed as Brahmins to understand that the sun is representing God in so many ways.
Right.
I mean, we can just think, just logically. It is providing light so that we can see. It's also, the sun is involved in the sense perception of sight. The sun is involved in the whole process of photosynthesis of plants. Otherwise, there'd be no grains there'd be no vegetables, there'd be no fruits. The sun is involved in evaporating water and bringing it back into the clouds so it can be redistributed. Otherwise, there'd be no water. I mean, the sun is maintaining life in so many ways, and our activities in so many ways. And this verse says, just like the sun does that on the external level, we should understand that's what God is doing all the time. He's actually the primary maintainer and supplier. So there's so much that we need to remember and understand. And I just wanted to share one other thing that once Prabhupada told me, which I can never forget, because he described it as one of the main purposes of the Krishna consciousness movement. He said that right now the world, the entire population of the world, religions have almost surrendered understanding how creation works to modern science. Why? Because they all share the same little chapter in Genesis of their Bible. Even the Quran refers to it. And it gives so little and inaccurate information about how God creates. So naturally, when scientists have begun to discover how material energy actually works, the religions of the world had to surrender and say, okay, you explain to everyone how this creation happens, and we'll just say it's caused by God. He starts the process. They are so Prabhupada said, it's the duty of the Krishna consciousness movement to actually defeat the greatest demon of the Kali Yuga age, which is this type of science that doesn't understand God. It's almost godless. It says, well, God can't be part of the process because we can never see how that works. And the only way we can understand the creation is through a process called reductionism. We're going to study matter in its most reduced, smallest particle, part of a particle. And Prabhupada once said, and Sariputta said all the time, why are they so fond of this process of reductionism? Because their brains are so tiny, it's the only way that they can fit into a tiny brain some idea of how creation happens. Because if they understood Vedic truth, which is the beginning is not the most simplistic reduction particle that has nothing in it practically, but the beginning has everything in it. And from that, creation follows. That's just the opposite of their whole philosophy. That's our duty as Brahmin preachers, to present this scientific teaching to the whole world so they can once again have faith in God rather than godless scientists. So I know I went on to different points, but thank you very much for allowing me to make those comments. Hare Krishna.
Anybody else? Want to say something? Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Ved Vyas ki jai, Shukdev Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada.